Okay, I'm going to attempt to do this video for the lighting agency. You'll have to bear with me a bit because I've been in the wards and had some dental problems that haven't been fixed yet. So my voice may sound a little bit strange. Now this screen down here, ignore that, that's just the video screen. I've already logged in to the back of the site. And what we're going to do, if you have a look at this tab up here, which is the front of the site, I'm going to look at the product pages, as these are actually quite tricky to do and you have to be really careful with them. You'll see why, particularly on the lampshades page, because we've got sliders here with each of the products. We've also got, under the prices, we've got tables, which again you have to be very careful editing these. Right, so I'll go back into the site, pages, all pages, and we'll go to the lampshades. You just click on that and it will take you to the page. Wait for it to load. Now, one of the things that you'll see here is return to standard editor or build on the front end. Don't ever click on return to standard editor because it will wipe out what we use here, which is called the Divi builder, which achieves the various layouts that we've got. Now, basically all of these boxes match the front of the actual website page. So for instance, lampshades as a heading text with the background image will be in that very top one. The blue is the section. What the section is, as you'll see there, it goes from one side of the page to the other. Same as this next section, which is using a colour as the background. And you've got rows. Now the row is basically this part of the screen that you can see. Our rows, I think, are about 1300 pixels wide, so that they're pretty standard from big screens onto laptops. That's why I normally do 1300. Sometimes you can have a row made up of 3 columns or 4 columns. As we scroll down the page, you can see exactly that there. There's 3 columns. Within each column, you've got a module. So the lampshade's title, for instance, you open these things, and all you'll really ever need to do is open the modules, I think. So you use that gear icon, you click on that, and it opens up the text. And you'll see there's 2 options to do it, either in text or in visual. I tend to use text. Simple reason being, you can use visual, but you always need to go back to text to make sure that it's formatted and laid out exactly as it should be. It's supposed to be what you see is what you get, but it doesn't always work that way, and you can find lots of spacing issues if you're not careful. When you've edited or added anything like this, you always click the green tick mark there, which will save what you've done and close the module down. While I'm in here, you'll see a couple of others. One is design, which governs the text size, text color, and advanced, which you won't really need for editing this. So I'll tick the tick in the green box, then always, no matter what you've done, before you leave a page, you go over to here under publish and you click this update button. Otherwise your changes won't be saved. Now I'm going to show you a different way of editing this page, and you have to be a little bit more careful with this, but because this is quite a complicated page with lots of elements on it, I think in this instance it's best to use it. What you'll see up here are some icons. This is a desktop, this is the tablet. and this is a mobile view. What I'm going to do is put it on desktop view. And you'll see that, no I haven't, I've actually got the tablet view, or no, I've zoomed out. And I'm clicking all sorts. Right, desktop view. Okay. Now all of those boxes are still there, and as you hover you'll see them. So that's actually the section, which it explains it better than I did earlier actually. There's another section underneath, which is the one that's got the coloured background. I think it's probably quite obvious how to change the text. But what I'm going to do here, and you may have to hover to actually select which element you're going to work on. So I'm going to work on this one, which is the one that contains the slideshow. And again, you would click the gear icon, which opens it up, and you'll see all the slides that are actually involved in there. To open one of them, again, you use the gear icon. There's no text in there. It's literally just an image. And how I've placed those images, you go down to background, and you'll see the image there. I'm not going to change anything in there, so I'll just click the save changes anyway to close it down. Here, this is just a text module that's got the titles. Then this one here is a drop down box, which we click to open that. Always make sure it's highlighted. You may have to play around a little bit with that. These items are called toggles. Basically, it's the title here, which is description. When it opens, this is the text that's inside it. So it's pretty much like just using another text module really. Click that to save the changes. Now this is the trickier bit. To change images, the only thing I would say is you really want, because WordPress or the Divi Builder won't change or crop those images to fit a space that's there. So you have to make sure that you've got exactly the same size image as the one you're replacing. And the best way to look at those images and the image sizes is in the media library, which is in the margin above pages. Right, so what we're going to look at next is, this is actually another toggle box which has got the prices in. So open it with the gear icon. And here you really will have to work in visual. So if you look at the text, because there are tables with all the different prices and info in, you'll just get loads and loads of code. So with this, I would suggest you use visual, but just be extremely careful. Whatever you want to change in there, you click literally inside. So let's say that 37. Use your delete key on your keyboard, change it to 32. Obviously I don't want it to be 37, so I'll change it back to 37. But that's what you do, and you have to be really careful, because if you, for instance, were in one of these little table boxes and you clicked on your enter key on your keyboard, you're going to throw the formatting out. So be really careful. And one thing I would say is, let's say you do mess it up, then you don't save it. You literally would click on the X, you'd come off that page, you'll get the option to say save changes, and you'd say no, so that you can go back on that page and have exactly what was there before. Right, but as I said, I always go to text after the visual to save it. And again, I found that out the hard way. I think really these are the basics. here we've got 3 images, so you operate exactly the same way as for the images I mentioned above. You replace them with images that are exactly the same size, so that they sit inside these boxes or columns. And I think really that's the main thing to look at. When you've finished here, you can either save it using this little green button here, or along these icons, go back to the wireframe view, which is what we first saw. If you've made changes, click update and you leave the page. Now I think that's pretty much the important stuff really. I'm looking on the front of the page. You've got your header up here, which has got your logo and your menu items. At the bottom you've got all this contact info and stuff like that. I'll just show you where that actually is located, because it's in most of the sites that I'm doing now. There's a new way of doing it. You scroll down to, there's media, which is the media library I mentioned earlier, if you need to find out sizes of images. So I'll discard and exit that page because I've not actually changed anything that I want to change. Let's say click on this image that's in the library, and what it will do there is show me the details of that image, and you'll see there the dimensions are 600 pixels across, 450 deep. So if I was going to replace that image, that's the size that I would need to make the new image before I replace it. Right, I'm just going to show you where the header and the footer are. If you scroll down in the sidebar to Divi, from the drop down click on the theme builder. When you open that, what you'll see here is the website template. Here you've got your header, here you've got your footer. Don't even attempt to put anything in the global body because it will wipe out the page content on those pages. Now to edit either of those, you would just click on that pencil icon and that will open it up with all the elements that are in the footer in this instance. And you do exactly as I did on the lampshade page. You click on the module to open it and repeat the same procedure. With this one, when you finished, you click this little icon here. I'll move that video recording box out of the way, and you'll see there you've got the option to save. I'm not going to do that because I've not actually done anything. So to come out of that, I go up into that top corner, press the X. Whatever alterations you've done in there, always click on this green box, all changes saved. I think that's basically all you need for this at the moment. Alright, I'll stop recording.